Hello dear students, my name is Dr. Vaishali Ghai and the name of this channel is Tricks by Chemistry Guru. So today in continuation with chapter 2, I'll teach you about Bohr's model of an atom. We have studied about the Rutherford model and it has certain drawbacks, and the major drawback is atom is unstable. So to overcome the drawback of Rutherford, Bohr postulated that electrons actually revolve around the nucleus in fixed orbits. And what are those fixed orbits? That means he said that this is the nucleus and there are certain fixed orbits in which electrons revolve. So first thing, what Bohr has postulated, that electrons always revolve around the nucleus in fixed orbit and in those orbits which are having fixed value of energy. And he called these fixed orbits as stationary orbits or stationary states. And they are numbered as 1, 2, 3, 4, or we can write it as K, L, M, N shell also. So these are those shells or the orbits that are numbered as either KLMN or as 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. What else is Bohr has explained? It is the energy of nth orbit. Energy of nth orbit. Nth orbit means suppose an electron is present in any of the orbit, and if it is say hydrogen-like species, then the energy can be written as minus 2 pi square m e raised to the power 4 z square divided by n square h square, where m and e are the mass and the charge of the electron respectively. Rest by putting the values of m, e, n, h except z and except n, because we don't know what n is, we get the value of e as minus 21.8 into 10 to the power minus 19 z square by n square joules per atom. This is the energy of this comes out any electron in nth orbit. It is equal to minus 13.6 by n square if I take in electron volt per atom. This is joules per atom. Convert it into electron volt per atom. If I take it into moles, in moles it comes out to be minus 1312 by n square, that comes out to be kilojoules per mole. So he has given a formula. Using this formula in different units we can calculate the energy in different units. Similarly, at the same time he has explained about the radius and the velocity. The radius for nth orbit comes out to be a naught n square by z. What is this a naught? When we talk about a naught, this is the radius of the first orbit of hydrogen atom. We call it as Bohr's radius a naught, or we call it as radius of first orbit. Of hydrogen. So the thing is n, the orbit, and z is the atomic number. We come to know about the radius. So counting all these, the energy value in different units, the radius in different unit, the velocity, we come to know about the various postulates that Bohr has given. The first thing Bohr said, that an atom consists of a small, heavy positive charge nucleus in the center. We have nucleus in the center of an atom where we are having the different orbits, and in these different orbits electrons revolve. These orbits, he said it as stationary orbit. Stationary doesn't mean that the electrons are fixed, electrons are stationary. It means that the energy of this orbit, of this particular orbit, is fixed and it does not changes with time. We call it as 1, 2, 3, 4 or km in shell. The energy, the radius, the velocity can be calculated by the formula given by Bohr. He said that since electrons revolve only in those orbits which are having fixed energy, so electron remains in that orbit and their energy should be quantized. So if they remain, if any of the electron remains in the orbit itself, its energy will be quantized. Now, like energy, the angular momentum can also have definite value, and he has given that the permissible value of angular momentum is only nh by 2 pi. It means the angular momentum of any electron is nothing but the integral multiple of h by 2 pi, where m is the mass of electron, v is the velocity of this revolving electron, r is the radius of orbit, h is Planck's constant, n is that integer we are talking about. So if I talk about the angular momentum of electron, for first orbit it would be h by 2 pi, for second orbit it would be 2h by 2 pi, for third it would be 3h by 2 pi, and so on. So I can say that the energy, just like energy, the angular momentum is also quantized. Now next thing what Bohr said, he said that when electrons are present in their normal energy state, they remain there, there is no loss or gain of energy, and that state we call it as ground state or the normal state. The electron remains over there. But what will happen when the atom gains some energy? The electron, suppose some energy has been given to this atom, electron may jump to higher energy level, may jump to much higher energy level, or to any higher energy level, depends what energy, what amount of energy is supplied to that atom. It can be done in terms of electric discharge, or it can be done at high temperature. So by providing energy, by supplying some energy, electron may jump from its normal state to some higher energy level, and we call that higher energy level as the excited state. This is how the electron can jump by the change in energy. Now suppose by gaining energy it jumps to higher energy, so it tries to come to its lower energy just by lower level just by emitting energy. Why? Because when the electron is at higher energy, it becomes unstable. So to attain the stability, it jumps back to the low energy just by emitting energy in the form of some wavelength or frequency, in the form of light, I should say. And the amount of energy can be calculated as delta E, which is E2 minus E1. That means energies of electron in higher level E2 and lower level is E1. So delta E basically is the difference in energy of the two levels. So this is how the Bohr has explained about the distribution of electron. So from this distribution or from these postulates, we could say that Bohr very well explained about the stability of atom. What is the advantage? Advantage is what Rutherford could not explain, Bohr can easily explain the stability of an atom. He said that electron cannot lose energy as long as it stays in that orbit. So if it is not losing energy continuously, so it will not fall into the nucleus, and thus atom is quite stable. So that is the major advantage. Next advantage is he could explain the information about the line spectrum of hydrogen. We'll get different lines in the spectrum. So how do we get these lines? We'll discuss in the next video. So this all about is Bohr's model. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe the channel.